Years ago, I went to a meeting just because I wanted to know who our state senator was, and it was Senator Sossaman, and we were just speaking. I think it was the building it's now Lulu's Taco Shop in Gilbert. But anyway, he was speaking there, and it was very interesting. And I didn't even go up to him and say thank you. Thanks for giving that speech there, Jamie. It was fantastic. You know, I'm supporting Matt Salmon for a lot of reasons. First of all, for me, the litmus test is always pro-life. I need someone who's 100% pro-life. Matt Salmon has taken that hard vote every time that it's come up. He's taken it under pressure. He's always had the courage to vote pro-life and be a great example. I also look at a couple other things. I look at where are you on the Second Amendment. You have to be strong on the Second Amendment. Matt's 100%. He's just knives, guns, the whole thing. He's done great. And where is he on spending? You gotta rein in spending, and he's good on spending. And he is. You just go down the litmus test of every issue for you, and you're going to find that Matt agrees with you. But I want to talk about the more philosophical reason why I support Matt. Normally I tell a couple of funny stories about Matt, because believe me, there's a lot of funny stories I know about Matt. But I don't have much time, so I want to just talk to you. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm the chairman of the House Freedom Caucus, and in the United States Congress, there is a group of people who are unafraid to take principled stands, regardless of the fallout. And we defend those because we have vigorous debates about the Constitution and about these policies. And one of the original members who put together the Freedom Caucus is Matt Salmon. And so all of American conservative bloodlines, wherever I go in the country, they are excited about the Freedom Caucus. And we wouldn't have it without somebody like Matt Salmon, who helped put that together. So I'm very appreciative of that. But here's the real thing. We sense, do we not, that we are at an existential crossroads in the United States of America. We feel, we understand, and logically and rationally we also comprehend that what this administration is doing is dismantling the sinews that bound the American body politic together for more than 200 years. And that is dangerous. Oh, and I see, is Gary Pierce over there? There he is, Gary Pierce. Former CorpCom guy, Gary Pierce. That was the official title, CorpCom guy. So as we go through this, I was on this flight back and forth Tuesday and Wednesday to DC, and I was thinking, you know, the only way we are saved as a nation is because of people like you who will stand strong and recruit others to stand strong. I mean, that is the first step. The second step is the states have to take back their rights under the Constitution. They must do that. And so as you know, it's kind of in that reverie that you get about 3.5 hours in, coming back, and I'm thinking, well, that's really it, isn't it? That's why you should support Matt Salmon. It isn't because he is flamboyant and flashy, although he is. I mean, understand he wanted to get a Brooks Brothers suits back when they had shorts instead of pants, instead of long pants. Is that not correct? That's a true story. Come on, Matt. The thing is, he has the legs for it, ladies and gentlemen. So, but I mean, the reality is, Matt Salmon he stood up. What he told me when he recruited me to run, he said I get kicked in the teeth every morning by the Obama administration. I get kicked in the teeth every afternoon by my own leadership. And I sleep on a mattress in my office every night. He said, I want you to run to take my place. The point is, Matt has done, he has stood up. And if you've ever been in the crucible of Congress, to stand up to your own leadership, who are telling you things like, you're not going to get any money to run for re-election. We will make sure you never serve on a committee of value. You're going to be, we're going to tell all of K Street that you are, K Street's where the lobbyists and the poobahs that run the country live. We're going to make sure that you are persona non grata to them. And they're going to isolate you and ostracize you. And you will be blamed for everything by the establishment elite. Well, Matt stood up to them. Matt stood up. So when I think of why I'm supporting Matt, it's because I said when I was in the state legislature, we need to stop kowtowing. That's a Chinese word for you, Matt. We need to stop kowtowing to Washington, D.C. because everything that they say they're giving you will come with strings, and it'll be this flaxen cord of yarn at first, and it'll get thicker and thicker until you are immobile and you're trapped and enslaved. And right now I will tell you, most of the time that a state legislature anywhere in the country spends is trying to figure out how to comply with federal mandates and regulations. If for no other reason, then you have somebody who you know will stand up and fight for this state against the federal government, and he will become a leader, not unlike our other good friend Ron DeSantis, whom we both are good friends with. He will stand up and fight the federal government, which wishes to put its thumb on you in every way. They don't want to just put their thumb on you. They want to put an anvil on you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud of Matt Salmon. I'm pleased to endorse him. He's a man of integrity. He's my friend, and he's going to be the next. Well, wait, we haven't had a great governor in a while. He's going to be the next governor, but he will be a great governor. Matt Salmon. He's got to fix his pants. He thought he had the shorts from Brooks Brothers on.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. I don't know if I have any Chinese jokes for everybody.
I do.
I'm sure you do, Mike. First of all, again, thank you to the McCleaves and the Ways and the Narducci's for giving us this wonderful, wonderful night tonight. What?
You gotta be closer to the mic.
Okay, how's that? Is that better? Great. Thank you to the McCleaves and the Ways and the Narducci's for hosting this wonderful evening tonight. Thankful for Andy for being here tonight. I know how grueling the schedule is for a U.S. Congressman. It's tireless, and I know that it's one of the loneliest jobs in the world, especially if you're doing it right. And I also wanted to make a couple of comments. First of all, James Salmon was a state senator when I first got elected to the state senate in 1990. And I remember I was sitting up on a committee, and Jamie was sitting next to me, and we were debating some issues regarding private property rights. And Jamie leaned over and he whispered in my ear and he said, Matt, just remember that if you stand up for private property rights, you're always in high clover. That's what he said. And you know what? Jamie was a statesman, and he is a wonderful guy. And the only person in the Salmon family that's better than Jamie is Sue. And so I'm glad they're both here tonight. Two of the great Republican leaders of our state, so thank you for being here. And the Corporation Commission guy, Gary Pierce, so thank you. And his wife, who actually worked with me when I was a congressman, she ran my office. Okay, she says she worked for me, but actually she told me what to do and I did it. Let's be real. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady. And I also do want to say, with all my heart, how lucky I am to be married to my best friend of 42 years, Nancy. And my sweet and oldest daughter, Laura, who's on the Mesa School Board, is here. And you want to talk about a thankless job where you get kicked in the teeth every day. Try running for the school board where you got the teachers union and angry parents on your back every step of the way. But I'll tell you something, she's a chip off the old block. And she feels just like I do. She loves the teachers, but she can't stand the teachers union. So I love her for that. Laura, every time you look at them, just stick your tongue out at them. I'm proud of her. She's doing a great job. It's really terrific to be here tonight. You know, I think about the time that I served in Congress. I ended up going 2 different times. And somebody asked me one time, they said, well, Matt, didn't you learn the first time that you didn't want to be back there? And I said, it's kind of like that old joke. The guy that's beating his head on the wall until it turns bloody. And somebody walks up to him and they say, what are you doing that for? And he said, because it feels so good when I stop. And that's kind of how it was when I came back home again. And Andy, you're going to feel really good when you stop too, when you get a comeback, but just don't do it too quickly. You need to keep beating your head on the wall a little bit more because we need you in Washington. And I will tell you this, folks, from the bottom of my heart, if it wasn't for the Freedom Caucus, I think all would be lost. Right now, I really believe that with all my heart. If it wasn't for the Freedom Caucus being the conscience of the Republican Party, and what is it, Andy, about 35 people now?
More than that.
Over 40?
I'm not at liberty to say it. We use that as leverage against leadership.
Okay, all right. That's right, that's right. And the sad thing is that my experience back there was just as many fights as we had with Obama, we had with our own leadership as well, because all they wanted to do was capitulate. And all they wanted to do was be popular with K Street, which he just described to you. Those are the fat cats and the lobbyists who want to keep everything going. And they wanted to make sure that what will never happen, that the media is actually going to love us. It's never going to happen as long as we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And Andy said something, one thing that I'm going to take umbrage with. He said that we're at an existential crossroad right now. I don't think we're at the crossroad. I think we took the wrong turn a long time ago. I think we've gone way far down the path and we're about to drop off the cliff. And if we're going to fix things in this country, it's going to take some guts and some courage and some fight and some knowledge about how the government actually was created to work. And our founding fathers, they really had the antidote for this a long time ago. They created it in the Bill of Rights, the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. They were very clear when they put the enumerated powers for Congress that that was an exhaustive list. Those enumerated powers were all the powers that Congress has. That's it. And that's in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. There is nothing more that Congress has the power to do. And then it said in the 10th Amendment that all the powers not listed are left to the people and the states. We've got to remember that, folks, and we've got to stand up and fight. Right. For over 100 years, Washington has been encroaching on the states. Really, ever since Woodrow Wilson, wouldn't you say, Andy?
Yeah, at least.
At least, maybe even earlier than that. But the fact is, Woodrow Wilson expanded the presidential powers and really took on tried to eradicate the Article 1 authority and made the presidential powers more and more and more powerful. And every president since him, both Republican and Democrat, have taken more and more authority.